Good morning, Allatoona. I'm Madison Gregory. 24 years ago, a group of terrorists made a series of attacks on America. Today is Patriots Day, a day to remember the victims of the attack, to remember the first responders who sacrificed to save lives. Please stand as we recite the Pledge of Allegiance and pause for a moment of silence.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now please pause for a moment of silence.
The images of 9/11 are a stark reminder of the horrors that day, but also a strength and resiliency of the American people. Watch as we present a solemn presentation of pictures from September 11, 2001.
You're going in there, bro, get out!
The very first thing I shot was of the tower. I'm actually standing on our news vehicle, on the roof of it. We're on the West Side Highway.
What happened?
What? The building collapsed. Part of the building collapsed.
There has been a plane crash on the southern tip of Manhattan.
Literally, I was waiting at a table and I literally saw it seemed to be like a small plane. I just heard a couple noises. It looked like it bounced off the building, and then I just saw a huge ball of fire on top. And then the smoke seemed to simmer down, and it just, a lot of smoke was coming out, and that's pretty much the extent of what I saw.
Don't worry, don't worry. Come on, where's your... Over here.
Looking out the window, I didn't see what caused it or if there was an impact.
So you have no idea right now?
There's another one. Another plane just hit. Right, oh my God, another plane has just hit. It hit another building. Flew right into the middle of it. Explosion. My God, it's right in the middle of the building.
This one into the East Tower?
Yes, right in the middle of the building. And right now, that was definitely looked like it was on purpose.
You saw a plane?
Yes, I just saw a plane go into the building.
Why do you say that was definitely on purpose?
Because it just flew straight into it. Looks like it's about, I would say 15 floors lower than the first building, and there's now flames coming out of that building as well. They're both completely on fire.
To me, it sounded like a jet flying over. That's why I panned up. And then you see the tower collapsing.
Everything, I saw chaos. It's just chaos out here, it really is. So the Twin Towers fall. It's amazing, it's crazy.
We're going to re-rack the tape of when we were talking to you to see if we can tell.
Okay.
We can't see anything. We can't see a second plane in the picture. There we see the explosion.
The numbers of those affected by the 9/11 attacks are staggering, just like the health problems the victims and first responders faced for weeks, months, and years after. Our reporters sat down with healthcare teacher and physical trainer Derek Sobczak to find out what health problems the victims and first responders suffered as a result of the attacks.
"3,000 people died and injured more than 6,000 others in the area. There were no survivors on the plane in which the event took place in. Since the attacks, airport security went up drastically, and they now question any suspicious characters.
A heartbreaking day in American history nearly 20 years ago, 4 terrorist attacks caused the collapse of the Twin Towers and damage to the Pentagon. While the impact has been felt all over the nation and the world, the immediate effects to the people around the wreckage have been devastating, so much so that they continue to affect Americans even to this day. Derek Subcheck, an athletic trainer and healthcare instructor at Allatoona High, reveals common diseases that plagued survivors of the attack.
The diseases that were going around at the time was more like upper respiratory infections, with all the dust and chemicals and pollutants and stuff in the air. People are having trouble breathing, getting asthma, so a lot of it was upper respiratory infections that were going on.
Research done the day of the attack showcases more specific information of the injuries suffered that day.
With a select group of people that showed that there's like 1,100 cuts, 200 burns, 80 fractures, dislocations, 69 concussions. But this was a small study of a group of a few thousand people that they surveyed that were there at 9/11. So that's some of the stuff they were experiencing on that day.
He informed us about the diseases they could contract and mentioned that many of them were long-term.
Going along with the research I was finding, right away people were experiencing psychological issues like PTSD. They were having traumatic issues such as breathing. There were some concussions going on, burns, fractures, dislocations. In the long term, it turned into more hearing problems, emphysema, high blood pressure, heart disease, PTSD, cancer, lung disease. In 2016, I found a study that said there were 5,400 cases of cancer that was linked to 9/11, and there's been a lot more since then.
9/11 was a tragic event that impacted millions of Americans. Must we never forget the people who helped save others and the victims on that horrible day in America. Reporting for The Anchor, I'm Jasmine Glenn.
While many felt the impact of the attacks in New York, Pennsylvania, and Washington, D.C., every American remembered where they were and what they were doing that day. Listen as Officer George recalls 9/11.
Well, I can tell you that on 9/11 I was in Forsyth, Georgia, attending the Georgia Public Safety Training Center, and I was going through a first responders class, which is a 40-hour class. We were learning how to take care of people who were injured or wounded in the line of duty, or people that we would come across during our profession. And I was sitting in the classroom, and at that time we didn't have cell phones, so we couldn't text. So I had a beeper that you could text back and forth on, and my wife at the time was texting me, telling me that something is happening in New York, that a plane had crashed into the World Trade Center, and what was going on. And I told her I didn't know because I didn't know anything about it. And as I looked around the classroom, you could see other students were also getting text messages and knew there was something up. And then at that time, our teacher received a phone call, and they told us to go over to the main building. And at that time, we're still not knowing what's going on. We walk into the main building, and every TV in there has got pictures of New York and the World Trade Center and the planes that had crashed into it.
Thank you for joining us in remembering 9/11. Remember, on this Patriots Day, that as Americans, we stand strong as one.